They're just hanging out here, checking messages at the celebrational meal. This duck just wants to be buddies. What's up, buddy? I don't got no food for you. Don't bite me. All right. Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Yuanji.
I'm Saint.
And today we're going to be giving away some stuff.
I guess we're going to be giving... We want to feature some stuff first.
Yeah, we're featuring some stuff, and we're also giving away some stuff.
Absolutely. It is heavy hitter season, and we wanted to talk about something that I don't think a lot of people are focusing on. Going through the history of blitz decks, and I've got a couple with me. I don't know. Blitz decks just haven't really been that appealing. Right?
I would agree.
Like even these. This is the original Dorinthia. I won't open up the Bravo, Katsu, or Reinar.
Yeah.
But this is the original Dorinthia deck. For obvious reasons, I've got it sleeved because I use the Dorinthia deck. And it's a bunch of, the mid stuff and TA, the original Blitz stuff. It's
They didn't really give you like anything extra. It was just like they put together,
and the colors, if anything, no pink, and the colors are very, very dark too.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say like they basically just like printed the commons to introduce people to the game, and
some rares. There were some rares.
Yeah, some rares.
Which were the rares? Wow. Warrior's Valor. Yeah. Those are the rares. Yeah, Energy Potion. Hey.
I think Overpower is also a rare.
Have we seen Overpower already?
Yeah.
Have we passed one? Overpower. It's in the very limited red format, right? Right?
Yeah, but I think my point was just that I think that when they printed these, the game is just starting. They're very functional.
Mm-hmm.
Like people need a starting point.
Yep.
To get into playing the game, and I think with any new game it's hard to just like start off building decks. That was originally a rare. Now I think it got downshifted.
Okay. Sigil.
Yeah.
What would you need to do with a one? You're not pitching this for one life. You're using this as mana, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been Shunt. Shunt was good, right? You've got good. Sharpened Steels and Shunts and whatnot. Who knows? Maybe one day these will have value. But the whole point of showcasing this is that there was not a lot of value, and these were kind of ho-hum, right?
Yeah, and I don't think that when they made the product originally that they were intending them to be value.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just intending them to, just be like entry points for people to get into a brand new game.
Yeah, for sure.
Where there's no resources available to like really teach people how to build decks.
Yeah.
And so I get it, but I think as a result, you see that even the WTR, they have like the sealed intro deck like bricks that people collect.
Mm-hmm.
I think the interest for those has not been as high as like anything near the just like sealed Welcome to Wraith boxes.
Absolutely not. These guys in a brick of 8 of these were something like $1,500 at the peak.
Yeah.
And now I would even venture to guess that they might be under $500.
Sure.
So, and that's not a diss or criticism on LSS. This is just their beginning point, and this served its purpose, right? It's just a bunch of common stuff, very few rares that are easily accessible.
Yeah.
And not even the red sigil or, springboard somersault. I'd rather, I think, like a yellow steel blade or something like that, steel blade shunt. No red warrior's valor. So, yes, very, very basic. Dorinthia was essentially a very basic bitch. And these, not only that, they came in 2 per. So you had 2 sets because 8 bricks. Mm-hmm. So there's repetition. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like the brick I think we can describe it as just being like functional. Like this is something you give to a store, You're like, this is my new game. I'm selling it. You get to get like 2 of each. You're selling them to your customers. It's not really like meant for collecting.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I think when they design the product.
Yes. And I think there was also the Arcane product. Was there Arcane? There was, right? There are Arcane starter decks, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Arcane didn't even have
I don't believe
starter heroes?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
Really? Okay. Well, there was Monarch for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think Monarch, and we don't have them on hand. Monarch was the first time that they tried to spice it up a little bit. They added, I believe it was non-foil versions of Mentors, which are full art cards that aren't available in the main set. And rainbow foil versions of those cards that were given out as promos got some traction.
Yep.
So they tried to do some stuff. What we do have is,
and we do these are going away. These are WTR Alpha product. I collect this, so this is not being given away.
Yeah.
Sorry, viewers. This is going in the back.
What we do have is, I think Tales of Aria. I want to say it was kind of like a regression.
Tales of Aria was even worse because
from Monarch because Monarch, they tried to do something with the Mentors.
Yep.
To make it like a little bit more interesting, I think, for gameplay.
Yeah.
And the Tales of Aria, I think, was more similar to Welcome to Wraith.
It was backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just remember opening some. I remember getting 9 of these in a box, and not only did they double up, they tripled up. So you got 3 of these because there's only 3 heroes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of repetition, right?
Yeah, but again, I think this was a period of like Tales of Aria was actually like a period of a lot of growth for the game. And so I think they kind of went back to just like very functional. I believe the team was a little bit understaffed or short on time during like the ideation of this product.
That's fair. That's fair.
Then we move on to Uprising.
Oh, these are leaving my house, by the way. We'll talk about it at the end.
Talk about it at the end. And then we move on to Uprising, and Uprising I think is kind of more of the same from Tales of Aria.
Yeah.
I think you get.
I thought there was only 2 heroes.
A brick of 8. Yeah, I looked it up, and it was like there's no Icelander.
There's no Icelander.
Maybe it's because they thought that Icelander was
too complicated. Yep.
Couldn't balance the
that and that's even worse. If there's a brick of 8, you're getting 4 Phis, which are identical, and 4 Dromai. So you're just pissing off collectors. Collectors are like, what incentive do I have to buy an entire brick?
Yeah, and
you get what I'm getting at here?
Yeah, I do.
You're picking up what I'm dropping, Yuanji?
Yeah, and I think one of the issues that might be apparent to LSS when they release these is that I think even interest among people like getting into the game, players, it's not as much as they had hoped for a product. And I would say that, like, as from an objective standpoint, I think that these are a bad product.
Okay.
Like they're like, in my opinion, they weren't appealing enough to kind of really drive sales, to make it, something for the LGS to like, churn through.
Yeah.
And every week.
There was no deep thought process on presenting the community, the player base, or the collector base, or the investor base, or anybody with the right incentive to buy units, if not maybe multiple units of the product, right? Because one unit had so much repetition, you're getting 4x, 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 4x of everything, that it kind of sucked. And here you were getting 3x, and WTR you were getting 2x of everything. And everything, inclusive of the everything, didn't really give you any reason to hold on to it.
Yeah,
right.
I'll speak also. We don't have on hand, but there's a progression after this as well. I think that
Outsiders.
It was HP 2 Blitz decks that were not printed in English.
Oh, okay.
But the core gameplay of these Blitz decks, from a flesh and blood perspective, is very, very basic.
Freshening these up, getting ready for the journey.
Yeah.
The heck away from my home.
It's like very basic. Like it's all the cards, from the set, which makes sense. I think that the main problem is that the games probably weren't as engaging when they hired Brian Gottlieb to start working on Flesh and Blood.
Yep.
One of, I think, his first projects that I know of is that they put a lot of time into making new Blitz decks. I think the HP2 Blitz decks that feature some returning heroes, like they made like a Viserai one, a Dash one. Did they make a Dash one? I don't remember. But this was for, I think, largely European markets of, you know, people getting into the game, giving them a way to have, you know, more interesting games. So they combined cards from a bunch of different sets.
Okay.
From, you know, HP2.
That is rather interesting.
And it just makes the gameplay a little bit more engaging. It's hard to explain if you're just here to collect the products, but you know, when you play the games of these Blitz decks, it's a significant step up.
Meaning from these, because these are just plain Jane, really basic mid experiences, if not even like very rudimentary, unengaging experiences. Whereas HP2, you had multiple sets, multiple different mechanics from every hero, and it just blended the functionality of cross-set functionality of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, and I think the most important is capturing the core gameplay patterns for the heroes. So I think it's really hard, for example, to make like a Dromai deck that doesn't play like all the rares, because like, you know, all your dragons are rares. And so you just like, you're not capturing the core gameplay, like the core gameplay loop of like what it feels like to be a Dromai player.
Yeah, so it's a substandard, an inferior, I would even say, honestly, unsatisfactory experience or a first look at Dromai.
Yeah.
Because Dromai is all about the dragons and setting up a board state, not about raking the embers or whatever, Cenopai or whatever,
not like throwing Cenopais, or that's just not like really what it's about. So they took a step up, I think, in HP2, trying to capture like what, like every time I think you get into the Blitz deck, like you obviously you don't get like Majestics or Legendaries, but you want to capture what it feels like to play that hero, to get like an idea of like, you know, like what's the identity of the hero.
Okay.
So to see if you're interested.
Yeah. And they were less successful in Uprising.
Yeah.
Right? So moving on, I don't know anything about Outsiders, honestly, because I didn't do a lot of Outsiders and definitely not Bud Light. So what do you have any insight on those products?
Outsiders Blitz decks, from what I understand, is kind of following like the HP2 trend. I think part of it also has to do with their set design. Their set design got a lot more refined, so that the cards within the set, even at the common level, kind of capture more of the core gameplay elements of the heroes. And I think one of the big shifts of design that they did is putting more emphasis on the hero. So for example, Dromai's hero is largely dependent on the cards that you're playing to get like the feel for it. So if you're throwing attacks, you're not really like, you know, making use of Dromai. Whereas like the hero itself is not really supplying like the gameplay element. It's the cards that you're playing. It's the invocations, the dragons, that's supplying the gameplay loop.
Yep.
For Outsiders, you get, for example, like Arachne, Solitary Confinement, and Azuri. Their hero powers are what defines how they play.
Okay.
Same thing with Riptide. You know, his hero power lets you, you know, play a pump, like a Scout the Periphery. That lets you load your arrow.
Your arrows, okay.
So that you can, you know, turn them up and put an aim counter.
They're more interactive.
Yeah, well, I'm saying they're more like contained. They're more self-contained. They're more self-supported. Like the hero itself is providing the identity.
Okay.
And I think that marked it's like twofold. It's like both the product is getting a little bit better. I think still from a collector perspective, it's not really appealing. But I think that from a gameplay perspective, their set design got a little bit better so that they could make, you know, like rares and common versions of decks and have them play out in a, you know, engaging way.
Okay. All right. So Bud Light, I don't know anything about it. I'm guilty as charged. I didn't play it. I didn't open it. I've got cases of it, like a partial palette of it, but it's staying in there because it's kind of, the product's kind of stinky outside of it being in sealed product. So we're going to move on. We're moving on to the best set ever since the beginning, which is Heavy Hitters. And I will say the idea was originally to buy 20 to 25 of these because I really like the product.
Yeah.
But, you know, after seeing it in Queenstown, I really, really like the product. This is, I have to say, like hands down, the best product of this SKU, of this type of Blitz decks. This is the best Blitz deck ever.
Yeah.
Because it was well thought out. There's something for everybody. You get to learn the player, or you get to learn the hero the moment you open it up. It's instructional, it's intuitive if you've played any Flesh and Blood. It's easy, I would imagine it's easy to pick up because I admittedly hadn't touched a Flesh and Blood deck for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was in Queenstown, and I was literally rocking and rolling and in the mix and playing literally against pros and either keeping it really, really close or, winning. And not only that, you don't have the same repetition of 4x of every deck with Phi and Droma. You don't have 3x of every deck.
Yeah, this
right?
brick comes in a brick of 6 decks.
Of 6, where you have one of each.
Yeah, very conveniently also 6 heroes.
Yep.
So I think that there's already another level of thought being put into
Absolutely
into the productization.
And I'll open it up because this is going to be given to some lucky viewers, probably prioritizing Patreons. But you've got all 6. You've got Olympia KO, Reinhard Betsy, and Victor Kasai. I'll leave these sealed because I do have the original.
This is what you played at the Celebrational?
Yes, the original Celebrational, because we were tasked with one of each of the classes. So, tell you what, I love KO. So you could start with Victor. You want to just show the contents and go through it? It was a played deck. It will be given away. So, yeah.
So I think first, already kind of a step up. Like you have like kind of a learn to play informational kind of thing.
Gives you tips and tricks. I was mistaken. I had said on other content that there's a picture of the hero, but the picture of the hero is actually right here on the tips and tricks card.
Yeah, and then so we get some cards. One thing, and then I'll speak to this as being kind of an improvement for their set design. For example, a card like Test of Strength being printed at common. This is like really a good win condition for Victor, right?
Yep.
Because you get this card that gets a gold when you win a clash. That combined with, let me pull out Victor's hero. So first, you get a Rainbow
Fall hero that's only in this presentation. Let me make sure we're in camera. A little rusty, but there you go. It only comes in Rainbow Foil in these Blitz decks, so
hero.
There's collectability, right?
Yeah, but like, so they're pairing, like, Victor, you read the hero card, you're getting information on how to play. They give you a common, which is like core to his gameplay.
Yeah, you got card advantage with gold tokens, and guess what? A Test of Strength potentially gives you a high chance at a gold token.
Yeah, and then plus they give you these full art or extended art versions of these cards that kind of pair. There's like a combination where you reveal this card from your deck. It's also kind of like teaching you how to play, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the key card. You want to reveal this off of your clash, and then you get a might token, so you get an extra
It's
bit
intuitive.
of value.
Exactly. This is almost like, I don't know, like an Apple product. Like you open up an iPhone, it's like, oh, press this button. Press this button. Okay, good. He likes gold tokens. This makes gold tokens, and it blocks really well. Okay, look, this helps you win the clash to make the gold tokens to get card advantage to trigger the ability, right?
Yeah, and then they give you like another one of his like key weapons to kind of get more clashes in.
Yep.
And I think it's just like very well thought out. I think that making these rare hats that can compete with legendaries in power level.
Yep.
I think everything about this, and we'll just go through the contents.
Yep.
I mean, you played with this deck.
I did. There's 6 thunks, right? Yeah. And it's not just 1 or 2 collectible cards. It's 6 copies of the collectible cards.
And
there's 2 yellows. Yep. And the last yellow. So you've got like 7 actual collectible pieces, and they're collectible because they're not found anywhere else. You've got the Rainbow Fall hero. You've got red, blue, yellow, all 3 pitches, extended art. And for those people that don't like to play foils, which I hear there are more and more of them, because, this is like the player's chase, right? Then here you are. You've got the young hero, maybe or might not show up and have use in Blitz. And you've got these guys.
He won the first, after Heavy Hitters came out, he won the first Blitz battle at Harden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this card could potentially have been used, right?
Yeah.
He's viable. So there you go. And these cards are viable. They can see play. And that's just one of the 3. Giving that away. I'll, handle the next part with Mr. KO here.
You played a lot of KO.
I played a heck of a lot of KO, and I loved playing KO. And again, you've got the tips and tricks, and you've got KO here. So it's not exactly the hero card. It's like a mini version of the hero card. You got the tokens. Oh, I have to say, for the equipment, we had talked about this. I think I mentioned to you, I was like, yo, Yuanji, isn't this like really good for a helmet? This thing beats down the Arcanite Skullcap almost.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we're power creeping.
Yeah, there's definite power creep here.
I think warranted.
Yep.
It gives players getting into the game a really nice like entry point.
Yeah, so they can feel good about their gear. It's not like you're getting an Iron Rot helm to play with. You're getting something that's really solid, and potentially you get the variance feel if you want to roll dice.
Yeah, if you want.
I
prefer to block twice.
Yes, you prefer to block twice, even with that second life. Then, well, if things are really desperate and you want to take the gamble for 6 cards, or knucklehead into, I don't know, like a gambler's glove, or maybe there's future cards to let you reroll.
Yeah,
who knows? And there's KO again, right? Yeah. Rainbow foil. He's kicking butt. Really he's a strong hero. Really, really strong. Like the double thing with upping your numbers and then creating a might token. Yeah, that's really amazing. And he only comes in rainbow foil again, just like Victor. All 6 of them are like that. You've got some cool cards, down but not out, which I don't think we'll see competitive play, but is really, really awesome under the right situations. Right? You've got a lot of 5s and 6s, because 5s also become 6s when you're playing KO. Pack Call 6.
That helps you. Pack Call also helps you kind of get more consistency on your draw discards.
Yep.
Like you block with it. You get to look twice.
Yep, and the pearl cards that don't have any attack value, you can siphon them out with Pack Call, right? So what else? Where are the... okay, here are the EAs. Here are the EAs, and any other EAs. So same type of deal. It was cool to feature that helm. Just they have a powerful piece of gear there. You've got agile wind up.
Did they give you raw meat as your chest piece? I want to talk about.
Oh yes. Oh, that's really cool as well. When playing competitively, not even just raw meat. Let me just say flat trackers. Yeah. Right. This lets you basically get an agility token, and if you're doing well in the turn, or you're planning to, put them on the back foot, you can set up your next turn to have a go again. It's like I wouldn't call it a full-on time walk, but it's like a mini time walk. It's like maybe like a relentless assault. You get to attack again, right? Yeah, or overrun, or whatever that card is.
Your opponent could also they could counterplay. Like you pop it, they're like, oh, I got to save cards in my hand. Yeah, because you want to keep cards in your hand.
Absolutely. But if you have a strong turn, you can play this, or you could break this for your next turn. This is really cool because this you could set it up so that you have agility and might tokens.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it. It works with agile windup as well. You discard an agile windup. Mm-hmm. You get the might token from KO's ability. You get the agility token from discarding it. Yep. I think everything just flows, and I think it's key. Like we talked about for Victor. Mm-hmm. One of his high value plays is to flip the thunks. Yep. I think they're signaling, hey, this is one of your better cards. You want to be discarding these cards to get value in it.
Yeah, and in a limited environment, I didn't draft this first pick, obviously, but within the first orbit, maybe pick 5 or 6 if I knew, and I knew I was playing KO. But when I knew I played KO, I would pick this 5 or 6, and I almost always got 3 life out of the raw meat. It's a really strong card.
Really powerful and at a common level equipment.
Very, very powerful at a common level. So it interacted with the other gear, the Gauntlet of Might and the Flat Trackers. It also interacted with KO's ability with the Agile Windup, because you got the Agility token and the Might token. So it just flowed. Everything just flowed really, really well.
Yeah, and I think speaking to what we were mentioning earlier about kind of the evolution of their set design, the evolution of their product design, putting together these pieces for new players to be like, hey, this full art card, that's going to be my good card. How do I use it? Am I just supposed to attack with it? It's like, oh no, I have this raw meat. Maybe I want to discard it so I can block with it. It's just more engaging to play with. You're creating things that you're kind of like directing your players to learn how to play the game of Flesh and Blood.
And it's very thematic too. It's thematic to what KO wants to do, and you're learning about all the hero synergies on the fly.
Yeah.
Right. And Olympia. I didn't play Olympia well, so actually I did. I took down Mara with Olympia, but I like KO the most, so you get to feature Olympia.
Yeah. So the Olympia difficulty a little bit higher than the other ones. So we have. The rainbow.
Is he really
foil.
higher? Isn't he pretty easy to use though? I found him pretty.
I think KO is definitely the easiest.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so you get like the 2 swords. Also, like you get the flat trackers. This helm also kind of crazy power level wise.
3 life out of it, right?
Yeah, and then similar to you want to try to make the tokens.
Yep.
So I wanted to talk about these EAs.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I can't say enough good things about kind of like it's also like the time that they put to like choose like, hey, this is the card that you wanna pick. There's another one.
They're picking playable copies, right?
Yeah.
We have all 6 EAs. We have 5 of them. Okay.
Oh.
We're missing a blue one. That's cool.
Yeah. So just talking about like how everything interacts. Like Olympia says. The first time each of your attacks wins a wager for the gold token. So, hey, like the EA card, that's your wager card, right? And you're wagering agility token. Agility token is how you put together really strong hands.
Yep.
And then the rare that they chose to give you, like take the upper hand. This is super powerful. Like you compare this to like Iron Song response, right?
Yep.
And Iron Song response is like your opponent can play around it, like they just block.
They
the
cannot
armor.
block, right?
They cannot block.
This is up to you. You can choose the condition. You can fulfill the conditions on your end and press them to block because they know that they have to. That this is threatening that.
Like they can't just block
right?
with their armor. Like you get to just like go over the top. And I think that just like combining everything and then you get a gold token.
And then you get an agility the next turn. So the stakes are really, really high if you let Olympia get his attacks through. Right?
Yeah, and so I think it's just like everything like builds together. Like the rares that they gave you, it makes sense. The cards that they highlighted, that's like the core. That's like the core gameplay, right?
Yep.
And so everything about it, I think, it just like all makes sense.
Absolutely. Yes. So that's with Olympia.
Even Saint could crush the celebrational.
Yes. So even me, if I can do it, even the most lowly entry level player of Flesh and Blood can be viable and competitive.
We're just...
No, I have admittedly said many times I'm not good. I just hit a crazy variant streak, but these guys are getting sent out to our Patreons. All of this stuff. Plus, I've got entire, multiple boxes of these coming in. Not all of my Rudy kits have come in. These aren't given away. This is why I got the Rudy kit, because performance bonus, normal art, we could feature the digital asset, is just this lady, this buff lady. But it's just very interesting to get the full art. She's actually stepping over or presumably beat up some dude at the bar, right? And that just adds so much more flavor to it. And I like these EAs. I have and will mention in a future episode why it's important to grab these short printed promos. That's why. I don't need any of these because I have fulfilled all the use for this. If you are a Patreon, please just hit us up in the Discord or private message me. If you are part of the Discord, I won't acknowledge any non-Discord members. You guys have first dibs. We're gonna give this away. I actually got a history pack 1 that I don't have a place for, so I actually said, hey, look, there's a sink below and what else? Some other stuff. Bolters, hey, fork lightning, right? So this will get thrown in there. and there's more, but wait, everybody, there's more. So those will be given away.
Saint is kind of a madman, I think, when it comes to collecting. The things that you wouldn't think to collect, he's collecting.
Yes.
And so when Saint said that he likes the Blitz decks, I don't think he was kidding.
Actually, I had another purpose of the 3 different projects.
Yeah.
we'll feature this at a later date, but this will be what's necessary for today's episode.
Yeah.
There is a follow-up episode that's pretty cool, maybe about some of the promotional cards that might or might not be chases. And then I've got a Giga project. I've completed 3 projects that I've always been talking about in the past year. So in the last 30 days, I was able to finalize all 3 projects, and 2 more will be coming up, but here we are.
Yeah, this is a set of 3 of each of the cards in the Blitz decks.
Yep.
And when Saint showed this to me, I was like, cool. In my head, I'm like, damn, this guy is... something's wrong with him. Like, why is he collecting the Blitz deck cards? But you said that you really believe in this product, and you just liked having...
I enjoyed playing it. I think it's the best Blitz deck product that's ever come out.
Yeah.
And it just conveniently, I did the math. There's 30 cards, literally 30 of each Blitz deck.
Yeah.
It conveniently fits a play set in 5 binder pages. And it's real nice. And in the future, if I ever want to bling out, like this is Reinar's, right? Yeah, Reinar used the Bonebreaker Bellow. You've got the red Bonebreaker Bellow, right? You've got the yellow, and you've got the blue. You've got a play set of the EAs if you ever want to spice up your your CC decks in non-foil.
Yeah.
So it's up there. You've got Betsy. You could use them for Blitz play, 20 life format play as well. So you've got those heroes, and I think it's just a nice item to collect. Same thing, money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah.
That's integral to Betsy, I believe.
Yeah, you get to wager, so you get to wager and give something overpower. But then also you get to use the gold with her hat to wager again.
Yep. So you've got all the heroes here, and honestly, you've even got the ability to get, you'll be missing 3 of each equipment and maybe 3 of each hero, but even with 1 Blitz deck, like for 1 Olympia, you'll be 2/3 of the way there effectively. And that's why I've got a stack of cards here, which I'll show in a second. Just to finish off these, like this just took, basically to me, it came free with the performance bonuses and the cases that we will, some of which will open up on FaBled Hunters. And just to you guys, collecting isn't about, oh, I have to get all the cold foils, I have to get all the, FaBleds or cold foil FaBleds, hearts and eyes and shards. I really, really enjoyed my time at the Celebrational. Like, draw swords. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't feature the Kasai one, but draw swords. I like this card a lot, Yuanji. You say that the Runaways are telling you, or the feedback from the Runaways.
I'm just saying for competitive CC play.
It's right not yet, but maybe call me a Timmy, but I like draw swords.
It's high value.
It turns on Kasai swords, right? You get to draw a card, and it pumps. So it replaces itself. It makes Kasai's attack stronger, and it turns on her hero ability. What's not to like? Because you're getting at least 2 of the mana back, because you draw the card first, so the card's free. The 1 mana pays for the 3, and then you get the 2 mana back because both your sword swings are free.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand that it's good value.
Yes, it's a great deal. It's a great deal. But so why isn't it competitively viable?
It just has to do with like it's a little complicated to go over in the video, but it has to do with like what your deck composition looks like.
Okay. That's fair. That's enough for me. I don't know the competitive meta enough.
Yeah.
But just with 3 of each of these, which cost less than $200, I was able to make a full play set, including the heroes, including all the equipment. And again, we're going to be giving these products away. And for the viewers, especially the Patreons that reach out while supplies last, I've got some extras. Just like I said, use 3. I will give you guys each, the first come, first serve, 1 of each of the cards so that you can make play sets just with 1 hero, right? Like for KO, right? You need a 3rd agile windup in each of the EAs. I'll add a 3rd and just 1 of each of every single card with the KO, and I've got essentially every single hero down the line. So yeah, waste not, want not. These guys will go out with the decks. We're giving first priority to the Patreons who want to enjoy this product, and it's max 2 per person. If you want any of the other product, well, supplies last, and somebody's going to get a history pack 1 because I got this in Queenstown and I don't have anywhere else to put it. I'm going to stick it into one lucky winner, winner's proceeds, whether you like it or not. So that said, hopefully you understand why we both think this is the best Blitz deck product ever, and hopefully it makes sense. You know, we're not shilling the product. I think it stands alone. It doesn't have any duplication, which is unlike any of the prior Blitz deck products. You get 40 plus very collectible cards because it's 7 cards times 6, 42 very collectible cards, 6 heroes, and 36 extended art non-foils that are all playable. And that's it, right?
Yeah, so make sure you subscribe to the Patreon for a chance to win some stuff.
And you're supporting the Runaways, North American Fab. Let's go Runaways, everybody.
Yeah.
And like, comment, subscribe, twiddle that notification button, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye. Hot topic. 30% off. Get your Lorcana cards here. Lorcana at Hot Topic.